What's up, you guys? Sean Ross at Fightful.com, here with a name you know, the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, but now he is the Impact Tag Team Champion. Chris Sabin, how you doing?
Oh, doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, and it seems like you're doing awesome as well. You had your reintroduction to Impact Wrestling. After all these years, what brought you back to the company?
I think just being familiar with Impact Wrestling and the fans. I took a little bit of a break there, but even though while I was gone, I always kind of felt like Impact was home for me. That's where I pretty much built my entire wrestling reputation, along with some outside stuff as well. But Impact was always my home. So yeah, it just felt like I was returning home.
You had this bitter rivalry with the North, and on tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling, it was revealed that you would be facing the North in a rematch. Now, I'm not sure how aware you are of this, but Ethan Page wanted you in the company very badly, and things seem to have taken quite the turn there. I did an interview with him in November, and he pleaded in that interview for you and Alex Shelley to come back to Impact Wrestling to face off with the North. Had you been aware of his desire to get you back in the company prior to this?
A little bit, not completely, but yeah, he's mentioned to me a couple of times that him and Josh wanted to face off against us in like some tag team matches, and we never knew if it was going to happen, but it did, and I guess it kind of backfired because when we finally did face, we took the titles from him.
And obviously that has affected him greatly, mentally, physically, a lot of that stuff. We've seen him sort of disheveled. What type of vibe did you get from him upon returning at Slammiversary? Because, I mean, obviously the challenge was laid down before that, but I'm sure that he saw you around. I'm sure that he knew you were coming in. Did you get a feeling of excitement there? Did you get a feeling of, hey, this guy might be coming after what I have?
No, I think it was a feeling of excitement and respect. I've known Ethan for quite a while, actually. I've worked for his wrestling promotion, his independent promotion. I think it was Alpha One, or Alpha. Was it Alpha Wrestling?
Yeah, it's Alpha One Wrestling.
Yeah, Alpha One. That's what I thought. So I've worked for him before in the past, and I've known him, a little bit here and there from other places. So, I mean, it was excitement and respect, and I respected him, and I think, although we have like some scuffling going on right now, we may not be the biggest fans of each other right now because of our little feud going on. But I think there's definitely a high level of respect there.
The Emergence show was also added, and you've been a part of so many different great Impact Wrestling shows. There's a lot of stuff set with the two nights on Access, and this is a method that Impact has done long before many other companies have adopted it. Like we see AEW doing the televised special events and NXT doing the televised special events, but this is something that Impact was doing back in the TNA days as well. When you do a televised event that might not be a pay-per-view or something, do you still get that special feeling? Do you still get that feeling of that unique event?
Yeah, for sure. It's like a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. You still get those butterflies before you go out there. It's you kind of feel it through a different filter because there's no fans out there, so it's like it's kind of altered a little bit, but overall it's that same overall feeling of like mix of nervousness and excitement.
How did that feel for you as you came back to not just Impact Wrestling, but to wrestling in general? You had been out for about a year and a half, and I remember I would always check like your cage match profile. We would update our injury section, and I'd be like, well, let me see if Chris Sabin's back in there yet. And you were out for an extended period of time. Was there any point where you doubted if you would come back or what your future was in wrestling in that regard?
No, I don't think so. I was pretty focused on getting back, but this time, it's going through it the third time, and if I haven't learned anything about like rehabbing or how much work I need to put in by this point, then, I mean, come on. So, I was ready. I just, put a lot of work in and just, just stayed focused on getting back in the ring, getting healthy, keeping my knees strong, and just, doing whatever I can to stay ready or to be ready to get back in. And so, I felt a little more ready this time than I was the past two times coming back. I was a little more nervous, I feel, a couple times before. This time I just felt like, I'm going to do what I have to do. And, it felt really good out there.
There was a WWE wrestler that I had spoke to that had a knee injury last year, and I was able to get eyes on an injury report and saw WWE had them out for a year right out of the gate. And that wrestler said, there's no way. I've been through this before. I've been through it multiple times. It won't take me that long. They're still not back, and it's been like 14 or 15 months. What kind of roller coaster do you go through, if any, considering the fact that you have faced this injury multiple times, especially in highly publicized manners? Like, how are those good and bad days, and how do you handle them?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of mental struggle there. Like you kind of your biggest opponent is yourself when you're trying to recover from an injury like that. And it's just you got to keep your mind in the right mindset. There's going to be down days. There's going to be days when maybe like I don't know, like I remember I would tweak my knee a little bit. Wouldn't feel like anything serious, just like a slight pain, and doing something during rehab, and my knee would be a little sore for a couple of days. You're going to be down, like, oh no, is this, why is this happening? Like why is my knee hurting? I'm putting in all this hard work, and is this mean my knee isn't going to be as healthy when I come back? But you just gotta keep putting in the work and keep pushing forward and try to stay as positive as you can. That's all that's all you really can do.
Now, earlier this year, you were set for your return at the TNA themed show. What were your thoughts when you were contacted to do that show, and sort of the romancing of the TNA brand kind of being brought back? Because there's a lot of people that were really happy about the idea of that show.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, because you never know, there might be some people out there that don't realize that the company is still around. They hear the name Impact and they don't connect it to TNA. Maybe they don't realize, with some of the more casual fans that watched back in the day, they don't realize it's the same company. So when they hear that, maybe that puts some awareness that, hey, this company is still around. It just has a new name. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea, and I thought it was perfect for the weekend it was on and everything. And, I was excited for it, and I think the fans kind of dug it too. So, hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again.
How were you approached for that, and what was your initial reaction when you heard TNA Retro Show?
Well, I'd been working as a producer for a couple months before that, so I was familiar with the company, and I was told about it and everything. Mm-hmm. So I knew it was happening. I thought it was a really cool idea. They originally wanted me to wrestle, but I didn't feel like I was completely ready yet. So I was going to have the special guest referee role, and of course we all know what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, and we've heard, and quite frankly, we've seen a lot of names from Impact's past who are still in the prime of their careers, like yourself and Shelley. You got EC3 popping up, Eric Young, who, quite frankly, it looked like he had waited 3.5 years to do a pile driver as soon as he got in the ring. He looked incredible. You see all these people that make their way back. Like, how does that make you feel to see? Not even that it's not like a distant past or anything, but so many of you got started so young that 10, 15 years later, here we are still talking about you guys in great shape, delivering at this level. How does that feel looking back, knowing what you all had back then too?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of like this shared journey that we've all been on that we can all like discuss or reminisce about and stuff. And I remember I was talking to Eric Young at the last tapings before I left. We were just like, yeah, man, it's like nothing has changed. Like, I haven't seen him in years, but then it's like, hey, it's like, we've seen each other every day for whatever, like 10 years or something like that. Or I'm sorry, not every day, but every time we would go to the tapings, obviously we didn't see each other every day. We weren't neighbors or anything like that, but but it was like, yeah, hey man, it's like old times, like nothing has changed. And I don't know, I think it's cool, all this influx of talent that's coming in, and I think these guys are going to have a chance to really show what they have through their own personal filter, as opposed to being, dictated what they need to do. I think there's a lot more creative freedom here for these guys, and so you get to see them in a different context, and I think it's going to be really cool.
So you made your way back to Impact, and when you left TNA, obviously completely different regime. That's the thing. You would hear some people in the past say, well, I can't see myself working for TNA again. Well, it's only the same in the name of the company and the video library. Completely different people running it. Did that affect your decision to come back? Were you a little bit more comfortable with that because you knew that things were different than when you left? Yeah,
for sure. I think the way the company is now, as compared to like when it was the way it was when I left, there's just a lot more. I guess they want you to express yourself more. There's a lot more personal creativity that you can have. You know what I mean? That the talent has a voice a lot more than they did back then. And I feel like they encourage personal creativity and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess that's the biggest difference from back in the day. It was a little more strict and a little more, you do this or you don't do anything kind of attitude. It's like, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot better nowadays, I think.
So you and Shelly were a part of one of my favorite wrestling angles of all time, albeit on completely different sides of things. Paparazzi Productions. This stuff was so ridiculously entertaining, and like there were times with you and Kevin Nash, he'd come out and powerbomb you, or you'd go for like a cradle shock on him. Like I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, Jesus, man. That was definitely a different approach for the X division at the time, but it's one that's always fascinated me because I thought that brought out the personality of so many of you guys, and in a way that a lot of people didn't expect. Do you have any maybe fond memories of that experience, or working with a guy like Kevin Nash that a lot of people wouldn't expect you to?
Yeah, no, it was cool, and like Kevin kind of took all of us under his wing, and give us advice and just help us out and whatnot, and tell stories. He was just really cool with us during that whole period, and I don't know, the whole thing. I mean, that whole period of time was really fun. I didn't get to be part of the PHS series or the PCS series. Yeah, I didn't get to be a part of that, unfortunately, because I was the one feuding with Nash and Shelly against So I got to watch. I got to be a fan during that period, and all that stuff was so entertaining. And I don't know. I guess a memory that I have that sticks out. I guess it's not necessarily a fond memory, but like I remember having to they put me in like a body bag or whatever, and to brought me out, and Nash and Shelly wheeled me out or whatever. And I remember right before I went out, I'm like, this is scary. Like I'm going in this body bag is actually really scary. But once I was out there, I was fine. But yeah, I don't know. That was a really fun time.
And you and Nash were like forever immortalized in like a 2-pack action figure thing. I remember seeing that when it got released. It was the Rival series, Chris Sabin versus Kevin Nash. I mean, that to me, that was cool because that was something so outside the box. If you would have listed 15 people that I thought they would have Kevin Nash work with, I didn't think it would be anybody from the X division, and it made for some of my most entertaining things that I'd ever seen in wrestling. Not just those segments, but like I said, when you got Nash up on your shoulders for the cradle shock, I was like, oh, Jesus, man. Like, how does this happen? So that's always something that I look back on, and I'm like, that's a classic moment. That is a great one. And it looks like you guys are well on your way to having some more great moments. What's your status with Impact Wrestling? Are you there long term? Are you there basically on like a dual contract? How does that work with you doing producing stuff as well?
Yeah, I am signed with them right now. I do have like a producer kind of thing and a wrestling kind of thing going on. So I can do both, and I have done both. There's been days where I only wrestled, when there's been a day where I wrestle and produce. So I'm keeping pretty busy with them. Yeah.
I definitely want to thank you for taking the time. Before we go, let the people know where they can follow you on social media, and of course, we encourage them to check out Impact Wrestling Emergence. It's a 2-night special on Access. It's going to be on Tuesday, August 18th. with Motor City Machine Guns against the North, and then August 25th with Deonna Purrazzo taking on Jordan Grace. But let the people know where they can follow you.
Yep, I only have one social media platform. It's Twitter. You can follow me at Super Chris Sabin. And that's the only social media I use there. So feel free to follow me on there.
Make sure you guys do it. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you taking the time and talking to us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on. Thank you.
Until next time, guys, we're out.